Hello everyone. Welcome to Authentici-Tea or coffee with Jera. This is a daily series I do in the mornings before noon Pacific time, in which we talk about different themes having to do with authenticity. This is the fourth installment of this series. And I'm doing it live because I really want to engage people. I don't think authenticity is something that can be held in a stasis. I think it's a very alive, collaborative idea and way of being. And so I really want for me not to just talk to everybody, but to have a conversation. So if you join us live, please go ahead and join in the conversation live. But if you're watching this after it's gone live and after we're done, then feel free to put your comments down below as to how this topic is seen in your life and how you feel about it, and if you agree or disagree with me. I would really love to have those kinds of conversations. So, getting into the nitty-gritty. Today our topic is about objective truth, or the lack thereof. So this kind of came up in a couple of different ways. It's an incredibly important value around authenticity, this understanding that objective truth or ultimate truth just doesn't really exist, because each person in their own authenticity is creating something that works for them and won't necessarily work for everyone else. But then in the same vein of it being really about authenticity, it's such a poignant and important idea for our modern society. It's my opinion that the root of most of our conflicts, whether they're small sort of family or internal conflicts, all the way to wars around the world, are due to this idea that we must impose our truth, whatever that is, on other people. And that comes with a load of issues, including judgment, violence, both physical and non-physical violence, toward ourselves and toward others. It's a breeding ground for the most negative aspects of the human experience, is, othering other people and saying, well, you need to be just like me in order to be acceptable. You have to accept my truth in order to be somebody that I'm going to respect and that I'm going to take seriously. And I think this just does such a disservice to everyone, right? Because the whole point of being in your greatest authenticity is to be able to truly rise into your power and be able to contribute to humanity and to the universe in the way that you were built to, in the way you specifically, or I specifically, was meant to. And that's why going after authenticity is so important. It helps us be the most effective beings for the age that we're in as possible. And so when we're busy telling others that they must believe our subjective truth as if it was ultimate, as if it was an objective truth, what we're doing is we're essentially being violent. My own definition of violence as I teach NVC is anything that pushes or pulls someone off their own path of self-will. So I'll say that again. Violence is anything that pushes or pulls anyone off their own path of self-will. And so when we expect others to believe our truth as if it should be their truth, essentially we're enacting violence on them. We're limiting their ability to discover what's authentic for them. And we're sort of twisting and contorting what should be natural communication, natural socialization with our fellow humans. So this is a big theme, and there's a lot around it, and I know that there's a lot of different opinions. There's people in the world who feel like there are definitely certain things that are objectively right or wrong. I personally don't believe that, and I don't believe that there are good or evil people. I think that it's a lot more complex than that, and I think another good point about being okay with our subjective truth and not putting it on others is that when we do that, we kind of clear the way. It makes everything less foggy so that we can see, more about what's true for us, more about how to relate in a more authentic, gentle, compassionate way with each other, which is only going to lead to more cohesion and togetherness in the human family. So I'd really love to hear what you think about this. Are there things that are intrinsically right or wrong? Is subjective truth sometimes just that? Is there an objective truth that we should all live by? I'd really love to hear your thoughts below. And as you carry this message through your day, I would really love for us all to really hone in our awareness on when are we in our own subjective truth sort of applying it to others. So when we are in our own belief system, in what ways, even just in our thoughts, even just inside ourselves, in what way are we expecting other people to believe the same thing that we do or to support the same thing that we do? And how might that feel? How, even if it doesn't leave our brains, even if it's just a judgment that sits inside our head, how is that going to feel and affect another person if we have those expectations of them that our truth should be their truth? And just see, how does that feel? And don't judge. There's no reason to judge ourselves for having those thoughts. It's just an awareness, just a watching of that to see how it settles in us. Is this a value that we're okay with, this putting our truth on other people? I really think it's, as somebody who studies authenticity, the more aware we are, the more we watch ourselves and disengage from judgment, the more we can learn and the more expansion we have to grow past the things that don't work for us or don't work for our society. So let's take a look at subjective and objective truth. Thank you everybody who tuned in today. Thank you, Stephen. Hey, Christy. To end the talk, I want to say thank you to everybody who's been watching both live and offline, because I've gotten such amazing feedback from this series, and I hope that these ideas of authenticity and this discussion is just as helpful for everyone else as it is for me. It's such a beautiful thing to be able to share how to be most ourselves, and I feel so incredibly blessed to be able to do this with my life. It feels like a dream. So thank you for joining me in my authentic life, my dream of being able to do this. And I can't wait to see what you have to say on this topic. So until tomorrow, stay authentic, everybody.